Okay, thank you, Chair, for the introduction. In last OHBM meeting in Singapore, I have talked about talk about the neural basis of self-control, and today I will talk about self-control decision-making buffers stress response. Okay. So what's self-control decision-making? Self-control decision-making is about choosing between higher overvalue and lower but more tempting option. And adaptive decisions need self-control. And impaired self-control also implicated in the psychiatric disorders. So, an classical task paradigm to measure self-control decision-making is delayed discounting task, the DDT. So, in DDT, people needed to select between immediate but smaller reward and larger but later reward. So, in in this one, when people try to select delayed but larger reward, that is called self-controlled decisions. Okay. So many studies have investigated that the stress could impair self-control decision making, and often the medial and lateral prefrontal cortex often are implicated in this effect. So our scientific question is first, uh, whether self-control decision-making could modulate stress response, and the second one, if so, what kind of neural basis underlying this effect? And according to the stress model, the mechanism of self-control was similar to the exercise such as muscles, and regular self-control training could expand the resource power and improve self-control over other domains, let us say maybe stress. So our hypothesis is that self-control decisions buffer stress response. And I will talk about 5 lines. So first one is whether delay discounting should correlation with stress trait. And we test this one using Human Connectome Project data. In that data, participants performed the perceived stress scale and the delayed discounting task. The delayed discounting task is used to measure impulsivity, decisional impulsivity, and the perceived stress scale was used to stress sensitivity. So we found that more self-controlled people with less sensitivity of stress. So next, we want to test whether delayed discounting should correlation with the stress state, just state, not trait. So people were recruited to perform the delayed discounting task, and after decision task, we want participants to report their stress. So the stress change between before and after the decisions, that is what our interest in index. And we found that more self-controlled people with less stress level increase. So that result is consistent with our previous findings. So the third one is whether self-controlled decisions regulate stress elicit emotional expression. Okay. We tested this hypothesis using Sina-Weibo big data. In that data, we first use the word to look at our interest location. So such as positive words, negative words, self-control decisions words, impulsive words, and stress event words. And we are interested in the positive and negative word ratio after stress event, and this was tested before decisions such as 6 months before and 6 months later. And interesting, we found that when people perform self-control decisions, the positive emotional words frequency was increased during the next 1 month. So self-control decisions enhance the positive emotional expression after stress. And we use another toolbox such as Boston natural language processing. This toolbox was in the Python, and it did not need any emotional word. So they just report how much emotional degree for the text. And we found the consistent results. After 1 month later, self-controlled decisions enhance the positive emotional expression after stress. So, fourth, we want to test whether self-controlled decisions buffer acute stress response. Acute stress response. Uh, to perform that, participant was asked to come to our lab twice. One time is day one, and the other one is day two. In day one, we measured baseline ability such as self-control ability and mental arithmetic ability. These abilities are used to fed into day two, such as fixed option DDT, delayed discount task, and stress task. So in day two, we manipulate the decisions task and induce the stress. First, people are randomly allocated to two groups. One group is self-control group. In this group, people only can select the delayed options. And the other group is impulsive group. In this group, people only can select immediate options. And then people report their stress. And then perform the fixed option DDT and stress task and stress report. So in day one, how to acquire self-control ability? We varied the delayed option across several delayed days and several money magnitudes. And the immediate option is fixed, always 50 yuan after 0 day. And we used the logistic regression to get the indifference point. Then these are fed into the hyperbolic function to get the k mean discounting rate. The higher the impulsive of the decision, the larger k value. So if we get the discounting rate on the day one, and then in the day two, the fixed option delay discounting task could be performed. In the fixed option DDT, the first option, the immediate option is fixed always, such as 50 yuan after 0 days, and the delayed option is variant. The delayed days across several delayed days, and the delayed reward was set at the point on the indifference point. So that operation will make sure both options have equal substitute value. So substitute value may not damage our conclusions. And totally 10 combinations of delayed rewards and delayed days. So 200 tries in total. Then let us look at how to acquire mental arithmetic ability. In day one, participants need to perform Montreal stress imaging task. In that task, people need to prepare a calculation, but the calculation is very simple. So in day two, the Montreal imaging stress task contained three conditions. The first one is resting, control, and the last one is stress. So how to induce stress in this task? In stress condition versus control condition. In the stress condition, the calculation is too difficult. Always about the participant's ability, and the time is limited, and participants' performance always below average, and experimental often provide negative evaluation. So 4 options to induce the stress. And the behaviorally, we found that the stress task elicited increase was decreased during the self-control group. So the self-control group is significantly inhibit stress response. Then we want to task what kind of neural mechanism to underlie this effect. And we adapted our previous behavioral paradigm into fMRI paradigm. People also come to our lab for 2 days, and during the fMRI, perform the fixed option DDT and stress task. For the behavioral results, we find consistent results such as the stress level of the self-control group was significantly reduced. And we then tested whether the decision during the fixed option DDT could elicit some brain activations. And we found that during the whole brain correction, we found self-control group when making decisions, their anterior cingulate cortex significantly activated. So we plotted the activation, and self-control group was significantly decreased during the decisions. Further, we want to test whether there is any activations during the Montreal stress imaging task. And we found similar results, such as in the inferior frontal cortex. The activation of IFG was significantly reduced in the self-control group. Further, we want to test whether decision could modulate functional connectivity between these 2 brain regions. And we tested this hypothesis in the fixed option DDT, and we found functional connectivity of ACC and IFG was significantly increased in the self-control group. Then we want to generalize our results, so whether our functional connectivity could be generalized to the resting state functional connectivity. We test this hypothesis in using the human connectome project data. In that data, participants perform delayed discounting tasks, and before and after the decision task, participants perform the resting scan twice. So we want to test whether the resting functional connectivity between these 2 brain regions could alter after the decision or task. So we found that the functional connectivity, especially intrinsically functional connectivity of these 2 brain regions, was significantly changed after the delayed discounting task. So first, previous study have shown stress impairs self-control and several brain regions such as lateral and the medial prefrontal cortex. Our study demonstrates self-control also could modulate stress and several brain regions such as IFG and ACC. Another one is our task may provide potential stress coping strategy and maybe provide implications for psychiatric disorders. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to see you out at my poster session TH267. You can also email to me for further information. Now I am looking for a postdoc position. If you have any relevant information, please email me. I need that. So thanks for my principal investigator and my group. So thank you.